Hello and welcome to Toastmasters in the Community. I am Fran Okeson, your host. With me today is our District 83 Director. Still that governor wants to come out. Janice Buffalo. Janice reminded me that she's been here how many times?
7.
7 times. I have to go and look at my old tapes. Very nice. I wanted to thank my crew for coming. The weather report yesterday was dire. During the night it was even more dire. But this morning the sun came out and we got here dry. I hope you did from wherever you came from.
It was perfectly dry the whole way.
Well, you pray to the right God and it happens. All right, we're going to start our show because in the first show in August of every year for the past I don't know how many years, I've invited the Tops to come to Staten Island because other than that, they don't come to Staten Island unless we can send car service. So we'll start the show at the lowest pinnacle. Janice is the top dog in District 83, which covers Staten Island, Rockland County, oh yes, and most of New Jersey.
And
Most of New Jersey. Okay. A lot of us on Staten Island used to belong to District 46, and when the district was sliced, I did get a call from California, and they probably will get this tape, and the head at the time asked me, did I want the old number 46 or the new number? I said, there's history with 46, I'll take the new number. The new number was 83, so I figured that was a good sign. All right, I'm going to talk about my job. I'm the low man on the totem pole. I am the area director for Staten Island. I have 6 clubs, and I'm on the clock, Joan, please. All right, and I won't tell you the names of the clubs because they're the clubs that matter to me. All right, my title is my responsibilities as the area 64 director. Now, when I go home today, I'm usually shot, so tomorrow I'll file the report for the Staten Island Live, telling who spoke on the first meeting. These are shows in parlance here, but they're our regular meetings. And then I give them the list of the people who spoke on the second show. The people who speak for the first time on our show will get a complimentary copy of the DVD. After that, you can talk about if you want to buy one, that's okay too. All right, some of my responsibilities are keeping my clubs happy, which is very easy to do because most of us are in multiple clubs on Staten Island. Some of our meetings occur in homes. A couple go into the 2 hospitals. Hospitals provide us refreshments, and we're very happy in these places. One of the other jobs is I just turned over the club officer training forms to my division director, who you'll hear from in a few minutes. And I'm happy to say everybody complied with coming to a couple of the club's sponsored officer training. We do not ask our people to go to Jersey for the training, even though it's probably more extensive with workshops and everything, but I don't drive that far anymore in my 20-year-old car, and I figure we have so many past district officers right here on Staten Island that we've done these jobs. So I turned in 38 forms out of the 42 today, and I'll try to get the other 4 people. It may not be good. Now, the biggest job is the area visits. I'm supposed to make a trip to each club, ask them what they're intending to do. I used to do it for the whole year until I realized that that just wasn't working because I have to do it again in January. So now I just ask people, I started already, what do you think you'll complete between now and December 31st? And that's what I do on my first area visit. And a few people said, well, I think what I feel that they can do. I'm president of Smedley's and I'm VPE of 3 other clubs, so I have a pulse beat on what my people on Staten Island will do. I was looking for books. This is how I keep a record, and if any of you want one of these, this is the current one. I have a travel copy and a desk copy. But I have these pages. I've been using these for years, and I keep track of all 4 of my clubs, all 6 of my clubs, although I asked John Weibel, past area governor and director, he served as both, to tell me about the North Shore Club. But every time something's filed, I keep it in this log, and it goes back. I have so many here from when we were in Area 13, Area 41, now Area 64. But I have to tell you, this is one from 2005 or 6 or something. The cover is, I mean, everything gets written on it. But we used to have in the 20s members, 22 people here. And I mean, look at the kind of work we used to put together. But we're trying. It's tough, though, when you're in 3 and 4 and sometimes 5 clubs. Joe Marizio and I are in all 5 clubs, and John Weibel's in 3, and I can go down the line, because you feel loyal. No Limits always gets my first awards. Then I see who isn't going to get as many as I have, so I give them to that club, and the light just went off in the center. Oh, it's over on that side. I love it when they play with the lights, and I'm
Yes.
looking at a camera and it's dark. All right. So later on, if you want to ask me any questions between the shows, if you want some of my ideas, I have plenty of things on my computer that I can send out. The main thing is I'm trying to build membership this year, and I'm not the VP membership in the club. Joan is VP membership in 3 clubs, but I do actively try to get people. Next month, I'm very happy to say, not September, we're not filming. In October, I have a woman who I read a story about her in the Staten Island Advance a year ago in October. A woman who's blind, has a service dog named Frances. Her little daughter calls her Franny, and I said, don't let anybody know that in this room, because Kevin will do damage to that poor dog. Hey, Franny, and then I'll be Franny, and I don't like Franny. So, but Holly has been ill off and on all year, and we're hoping that she will be with us in October, and I'm looking forward to meet her. We've been on the phone, we've been emailing, and this woman is remarkable, and she's got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. I don't know how that woman does that. But anyway, nice people. And then we have bluegrass people. The Cohens are coming in on November 4th because he's got a bluegrass band. But I carry an application everywhere I go. I learned this from Neil Gerhard years ago, to always have an application. Because at a conference, somebody told me they wanted to join one of my clubs, and I didn't have one, and he said, here's one. And I always have an application with me. So, and I always carry Toastmasters magazine, so if anyone visits a club, I say, this is what you'll get after you do. About 2 months after you pay your dues, when would you like to pay them? And if you have a nice attitude, sometimes it works, and sometimes it falls on deaf ears. At any rate, do the best you can. Let's up the ante on these clubs and get more people involved. And that's what my duties are. Is that agreeable with your year?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you. Okay. And I'm glad you brought your hubby today. I like him. At any rate, well, he came to Liberty and did that great thing down there trying to get the Coast Guard involved again. We had fun, even though they couldn't do it because they were all being shipped out.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're moving up the ranks, and here's the guy who's in charge of my area and a few others. His name is Bill Atkins, and we're meeting him on Staten Island for the first time. Bill, you're an advanced communicator silver and an advanced leader bronze. I hope you get to be a DTM at the end of the year. Anything that we can do on Staten Island to help you, except do dishes, we will be very happy to. And you're doing speech number 3 from the basic manual, Get to the Point. Your evaluator is Kevin Thompson. Oh, you're so lucky. Oh, gosh. And your title is, What's Ahead for Our Division? Let's all welcome Division Director Bill Atkins.
Thanks so much, Fran. I'm glad to be here today. And as a division director, my last role was as an area director, much in the way that Fran is taking that position now. And the position of a division director is to help the area directors to help the members. Being an area director, I know that I was very hands-on with the clubs, and now as a division director, I'll be helping those area directors. But one thing that I really have, so one of my passions with Toastmasters is, did you ever have to speak in front of an audience or be able to do some public speaking and you have that fear? Nobody wants to speak in front of a group. It's a panic. In fact, people have even said that they'd rather die than go in front of an audience and do some public speaking. So how do you overcome that? Well, you go to Toastmasters. And Toastmasters, a great thing about that is they'll teach you the techniques of how to do different parts of that get better. And I've seen some people from going very nervous and shy and panicky in front of a group in the course of a year to be confident. So they become a better speaker, a better communicator, the confidence and the influence. So imagine if you're at work and you have to speak in front of people. By joining Toastmasters, you'll have those abilities and those skills. Imagine if you're a mom or a dad and you have to influence a teenage son or daughter. Those same skills come into place. So I think as Toastmasters, if we know that it works so well for people getting that confidence, and once you learn that skill, that's with you throughout your whole life. So I think that as people learn those skills, why wouldn't we invite other people? In my division, I have 4 areas, 1 here in Staten Island and 3 in New Jersey, and it covers pretty much the Monmouth County area and Staten Island. And again, my role is really to help my area directors to help their members. And it's really amazing things to see that when you see people go from that shy, being unconfident, being unable to speak, to being able to be in front of an audience, capture their viewpoints and be in front of them in such a way that you're influencing others. My role that I would like to take upon is really helping with the membership. And we have 3 different kinds of clubs in Toastmasters. We have the community clubs, which most of them are. Anybody can join. And you come to a club and You take a role as just being a guest at first, then you join, you could become an officer in different roles. There's another part of Toastmasters, another part of a Toastmasters, which would be a corporate club, which if you're working for a company, wouldn't it be great if you could have people communicating better in that company? One of the clubs, I'm thinking of a corporate club, they're mostly engineers on most of their workforce, and the other half of the workforce is salespeople. They never see each other. They never interact with each other, even though they're in the same building. When they formed this corporate club, they were able to actually sit down next to somebody and get to know somebody that they never would have went into. If you think of a stereotype of an engineer, they're generally not the best communicators, but after going in front of Toastmasters in a safe environment, they come out of the meeting and they gain a little bit skills better and better and better. Another part of Toastmaster is an advanced club. So if you're in Toastmasters and you complete a certain number of speeches, you now are ready for an advanced club. And the cool thing about advanced clubs is it's a higher level. Think if you're playing tennis. Do you want to play tennis against somebody who's not as good as you and never, ever excel? Or do you want to be around people who are better than you and you could rise up to that? And one of the things I really like about Toastmasters is the social part of it. And when you join Toastmasters, you're generally going to have a mentor, and he or she will be alongside of you, so that you're not going in front of a room of 30 or 40 people, not knowing anything about it and being left out there. Because after all, Toastmasters is an organization that helps you to get that confidence and be able to speak in front of people easily. So again, my role as a division director is to help my areas, my area directors, so that they can help their clubs and we could all grow. And I think that if you aren't familiar with Toastmasters, just look at the Toastmasters website, look at Find a Club, and go attend one of the local clubs. Come as a guest, see what it's like, and maybe you might be the best communicator and be able to speak in front of the room confidently. So when you're asked to speak, you won't have that, I'll choose dying over speaking. Thanks a lot. This is Bill Atkins.
Thank you very much, Bill. Very, very nice. Nice to finally have met you, too. Okay, moving on, we now have our Public Relations Manager, Allison Lips. This is the first time we've been meeting Allison,
Yes.
unless you've seen me in a crowd, but it's nice to meet you here.
Nice to meet you.
And you are the Public Relations Manager, and that's why I gave you the past Public Relations Manager, Sue Brooks, to evaluate you. I thought that was a good fit. At least she knew what she was looking for. Now, you're working from the Humorously Speaking Advanced Manual, Warm Up Your Audience. Now, if you're doing an advanced speech, how come they said that you didn't have a CC yet? Are you a CC?
I just got it.
You just got it? Oh, okay. Well, nobody told me. I'm the last one to know some things. Okay. And as I said, Sue Brooks, who I saw running out of the control room, our audio tech, is going to evaluate you. And I like your title, the District 83 Public Relations Strategy. So it took me a few minutes to get the D's and the G's in the right place in that word, but finally I keep a big dictionary right next to me. So it's nice to hear you, and I'm anxious to see what you're going to do for PR for the year. Thank you very much. Allison Lips.
Okay. It was a cold November evening when I dragged myself to Central State Medical Center with a runny nose and a sore throat. No, I wasn't going to the ER. I was going to my first Toastmasters meeting. When I walked into the room, I took a look around and realized, what am I doing here? These people are my parents' age. I don't belong here. I'm wearing jeans. Why did I insist on not wearing makeup? These people must think I'm 18. Turns out they didn't. I kept coming back for a meeting and then another meeting. And 6 months into my Toastmasters journey, my Vice President of Education said, "Hey, Allison, you're young. How would you like to be our Vice President of Public Relations? You know social media." I guess? It completely took me off guard. If I'm being honest, the real reason they chose me is because I have a degree in radio, TV, film, and journalism, which is similar to PR. For the 2017-2018 Toastmaster year, I'm developing a three-pronged strategy focusing on the internet. We have a blog, a vlog, and a podcast. The blog has a set schedule which encourages people to share their stories. On Monday, we're meeting the district officers. Tuesday, or is Toastmasters related advice. It could be something about how to get your club name out there, how to deal with nerves, anything that we think members might be interested in. Wednesday, we have a club spotlight, so if you have a club, please send that in since we reach a wider audience than the average club Facebook page. Thursdays are personal stories. We recently had one where Kevin wrote about how Toastmasters gave him the confidence to officiate a friend's wedding. Fridays, we have publicizing district events, whether it's something upcoming like a training or our conference, which is in November, or recapping something that happened. We recently had a Blue Claws baseball Toastmasters get-together down in Lakewood, New Jersey. With the podcast, it's going to be Frank Shuck, which I think you guys will like him. He's really funny and a character. He's going to be doing a half-hour-long show. This is something you'll be able to download and listen on your phone in the car. The first 15 minutes are going to be just Toastmasters talk, things going on. And then the second half, he's going to interview someone. Right now, that's still in the planning stages, so we may change it, but that's the base. Finally, we're doing a vlog and a YouTube video channel. We're looking for people to share their speeches. It doesn't have to be a perfect speech. It could be something like your icebreaker, where we all tend to have nerves. I know I was terrible. I was literally looking at the lectern saying, "Hi, my name is Allison. We're good." So don't be afraid to share that. We're all here to learn from each other. We also want to have short 1 to 2 minute videos about anything that comes to mind. How you overcame your challenges, why you joined Toastmasters. We want to let other people know that Toastmasters is here and they should take advantage of the opportunities in public speaking and leadership the club has to offer. If you have any questions about the podcast, the vlog, or the blog, please reach out to me. My email is amichelelips@gmail.com. That's AMICHELELIPS@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to explain and work with you on the PR strategy this year. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Allison. Very informative, huh? Got the right person for that job.
Sure did.
Wow, okay. All right. And next we have, I think her title is hysterical. All right, this is our Club Growth Director, Linda Starr, who, if you remember, what was it, 2 years ago, you and Sue were co-editors of the district newsletter.
Yes, we
Yes.
were.
Yes, and thank you for always printing my articles. It was another way for me to get some stuff out to the people. And Linda, you're a DTM, and you're doing speech number 3 in the entertain. Not everybody's doing inform, and I like that idea. They're
Yes.
funny, they're humorous, they're
Yes.
entertaining. All right, now you're going to make us laugh, and Lucy Kahn is your evaluator. I love your title. Will I Grow as a Growth Director? Let's all welcome Linda Starr. I have to tell you, she emailed me the other day and she said, "Fran, I think I may have a problem. You might not be able to see me over the lectern." I said, "Sue's been on the show a lot and we can see her, so we can see you." I said, "Anyway, when Paul wasn't feeling too well, I made him sit on a high chair." So I said, "Don't worry about it." So here you are, and we can all see you just fine.
Yep.
So there you go. You got it. You're on now.
Terrific. Thank you, Fran.
Thank you.
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold. You know how many of you were Girl Scouts, if you remember that song? But I always liked that song. And it applies to Toastmasters as well. We can make new clubs. We can make new friends. We can create new members. And together we can all grow in terms of membership. Now, will I grow in terms of height? We'll see. I certainly could use those inches, but well, that remains to be seen. We can also grow, we can grow in terms of our skills. We can grow in terms of our speaking skills, our leadership skills, and our friends, and so forth. There's a lot to be done. Do you remember the story about Jack and the Beanstalk? Jack gets those beans, and he throws them out because the mother's like, why are you bringing us these stupid beans? We do not need these things. And he just throws them out. And the next morning, he wakes up and there's this giant, giant, giant beanstalk that goes all the way up to the sky. I really wish I had some magic beans, or a way maybe like Bewitched, you twither her nose. I think actually I do have those magic beans. I think that we all have them. And it is, our ability to talk up Toastmasters, to push Toastmasters, and to really get things moving. We can plant those seeds to grow. How will we grow? Well, first we need to have a goal. Our goal is to be President's Distinguished. Now that's a lofty goal, but I definitely believe in aiming high. Maybe we won't reach the sky like that beanstalk, but we could reach a tall building. I have a team to help me. This team includes a club retention chair, which we're looking for, a club growth chair, club extension chair, and someone to help with coaching and mentorship, and a research chair who helps us to find new clubs. And you can all help us to find new clubs. Are you a member of an organization, an association, your workplace? These are all good places to start clubs. As I said, we need to keep our existing clubs and keep growing those, making sure that our members are satisfied and getting all that they can out of Toastmasters. We also have district incentives and contests from both Toastmasters International and from us, the district. We have things like the contests. We have incentives. I said that already. If you bring a club lead to us, that can help us to grow a club. And if you become a sponsor, you might get, once that club charters, there's Toastmaster bucks, and we all love those Toastmaster bucks. We have plenty of other things that we can do if we work together, encourage each other, help each other. Toastmasters, one of the things I love about Toastmasters is that idea that we're supposed to be mutually supportive. And we can all be ambassadors to help spread that idea to additional people, to get new members. So to answer the question, I may not grow in height, but I think I will grow in leadership skills, in speaking skills. I think as a division, as a district, we will definitely be able to grow as we increase our membership, we increase our number of clubs. So that means each person, every member needs to go. So Manny will talk about going one level up. Clubs can be distinguished, areas can be distinguished, districts can be distinguished. So we can all look together, join together, and hope that we'll be able to say, as my Toastmaster Club, Dining to Speak likes to say, it's great to be a Toastmaster.
Thank you, Linda. There is a simple solution to your wish of getting higher. It's called high heels.
There you go.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Very nice, Linda. Thank you. And next, our fifth speaker is the Program Quality Director, Manny Reyes. And Manny, I guess I've seen you around because I know you've been around for a while, and Paul talks about you all the time. And when Paul Scharf speaks, we listen. But I'm very happy to meet you and your lovely wife today. And you are you're an ACG and an ALB too. Okay. Manny, you're working from the basic manual on second or third CTM? Or CC. See, I'm still in the dark ages. Oh, you can tell the old timers. How many CCs have you done? 5. Okay, you're dark over there. Okay. Oh, good. Good. Okay, so you're working, so you have one more after today. You're doing speech number 9, Persuasive Power, and Paul Scharf. I let him be your evaluator because you are club mates, and I thought that would make you feel more comfortable. But after meeting you today, I don't think you need to feel comfortable. I think you are comfortable. Somebody's clicking and I can't see anything. All right, so, what? Oh, that light. They think I can see that little red light over there. Okay, and your title is One Step Forward. Let's all welcome Manny Reyes.
Well, thank you very much for having us here today. And I'm going to speak a little bit about my role as a program quality director, but I wanted to start with a little quote that says, "The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step." Recently, I was listening to a public speaker and motivational, Brian Tracy. He was telling the audience that successful people, they are not successful because of an accident, but because of focus and determined actions. He asked the audience that was listening to him, how many times one person that have a very brilliant idea will try it before he or she quits? His answer, less than one time. You have a genius idea to transform the world, and you quit before you even start. One step forward is all it takes to discover that we can make our big dream a reality if we try harder and don't quit before we start. As VP of Education, I'm always asking our club members to sign up for speaking and meeting roles for the next meeting. Sometimes, no one raises their hands. The one thing I have learned as a Toastmasters is that you will not advance your communication and leadership skill by letting others do the heavy lifting and all the work while you sit in the back and just be an observant. One step forward is all it takes to set into actions, cause and effect that will move an observer into an actor. Stop being in the back, sign in, jump to action, practice. That is how we learn. The inches that separate us from our goals and aspirations are everywhere. All we need to do is focus and work towards our dreams. Step out of your comfort zone. Get out of your club. Go to the district conference, participate in contests, expose yourself to other clubs. That is how we grow. I am challenging this year all the Toastmasters in District 83 to advance forward one level in their competent communication or their leadership skills. That means if you are a CC today, by June 30th, we are hoping to see you an ACB. You are in the middle of completing your CL. Start working on whatever projects you are so you become a CL. That's all we're asking from you. See, one step forward is all it takes to find your voice and start on a project that will transform your life and the life of others around you. We welcome everyone to District 83 as a Toastmasters, and we are looking forward that you will be the next one taking one step forward to become the better version of yourself. Thank you.
Lovely message. Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Manny. Very, very well done. And guess who's next?
Who?
You.
Oh, me.
Dave's favorite girl. Okay, our next speaker is our top dog of District 83, Janice Buffalo, who is a distinguished Toastmaster. How many more are you going to go for? Are you working on your second?
Actually, I'm working on CCs and CLs
Well,
to
last
help
month,
my clubs.
DTM helps your club as well. Last month I had
Yes.
Imogene James up here,
Yes.
and I asked her, and she said, what do you have to do to get another one? I said, good Lord, you were district governor, lieutenant governor, division, area. I said, you could have 5 by now. Really? So I said, I'll talk to you tomorrow. So now I gave her my whole youth leadership stuff. I gave her everything on my computer. And she's going to file some more, and you should be doing that too.
Okay.
Plan for your 2nd and 3rd. You know,
I will.
I get a little funny with this 18, 19 business. Anyway, Janice, you're doing speech. Oh, an icebreaker, as if we didn't know you. I think everybody in this room knows you.
I think I told Cindy it was number 2, but that's okay.
You told Cindy it was number 2?
Yes.
Oh, so what did you, she's evaluating you. Is she evaluating an icebreaker or an organize your speech?
I think it's organized my speech.
All right, I'll change it here. Cindy, did you hear that? Good, see? And you should stay for the 2nd show because Cindy's going to be reading out loud, reading out loud. So if you don't have anything pressing at home, you should stay and hear the 2nd show.
Okay.
All right, if you want to. All right.
Thank you.
Well, you'll get a copy of the DVD anyway, so. All right, so let's see. Cindy Wilson passed district governor, DTM 4.
4, yes.
She's working on her 5th, and she's your evaluator. And your theme, your speech title is New Beginnings, and let's all welcome Janice Buffalo, who is our top dog for this year until June 30th. Welcome again for, what, your 7th or 8th time now?
7th.
Good, all right. You're on.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and of course, our home audience. This year, I chose New Beginnings because I felt that we needed to change a lot of things. Of course, with Pathways coming on, and we had that at a previous show recently, that Pathways is going to be bringing in more challenges or more programs that are in today's world, such as social media and other things like that. And I'm really I've been on the fence, but I really think I'm going to look forward to trying something new. And what we're also looking forward to is you as members to help grow, as Manny said, level up 1 and take that next challenge of going further in the program rather than just sitting back and watching things go by. What I also want to do this year, as you heard with Allison, is the more communication. We have challenges ahead of us. There's Facebook, there's Twitter. She mentioned the YouTubes. We are trying to get District 83 out there so that we can help Linda grow, not in height, but in volume of the district. And by getting people who are very active in Facebook or Twitter, we're hoping to reach out far more than what we are today. And she came up with this slogan of like, comment, and share. Because if I were to like something and I have 100 people in my network, that goes out to 100 people. But then if somebody else in my network reaches out to another 100, you can see how quickly we're going to be getting the message out to Toastmasters. We also have a few other things up our sleeves to help get Toastmasters out there. Of course, we have the bus advertising again coming up. Another area that we want to improve is recognition. We need to make sure that all of our people are getting recognized in a timely fashion, not only for those who make the achievements, but for those who have been in Toastmasters for many years. I was looking at the roster the other day and found a gentleman has been with Toastmasters since 1964. And I almost fell out of my chair, but I realized that yes, we still can maintain some of those people as members. The other thing I want to do is to recognize all of our clubs who have been in existence for 50, 60, 75 years, and of course those who have been around for 5, 10, 15, and 20 years as well. One thing that I am very happy to announce is we are going to have a district speakers bureau. And this is going to be bringing an opportunity to all of our members who want to take their speaking the next step forward and go bigger and be able to speak outside the regular Toastmasters environment. So as you can see, this year is going to be filled with new beginnings, and I hope each and every one of you will jump on board and come for the ride. Thank you.
Wow. Will 12 months be enough time for you to get all that done?
Of course.
Oh, good, good, good. Very, very
I have
good.
a good team.
You certainly do. I'm very, very impressed. Now we're going into the evaluations. And Begonia, it's the first time I've met you today, and very nice to meet you. And we're going to have some fun with you on the second show. I teamed her up to do a speech about flowers.
Oh, nice.
Well, her name. How could I go wrong, right?
Very much.
Anyway, I have fun putting evaluators together with speakers. Begonia, would you please tell the audience what you thought about my job, what I'm doing this year as the area director? This is Begonia Reyes.
Fellow Toastmaster, distinguished guests, and especially Fran. I love how you start your speech. You kept my attention from the beginning to the end. It was a very good information, and you put it in a way very easy to understand. And I thank you for that. As a new area director myself, I learned a lot. What I like the most of your speech is when you were talking about the most important thing for you is the happiness of your members. Mm-hmm. This is very good for retention. Mm-hmm. I was curious about transition. If you contact with the other area director, and if you learn anything that help you in this new role that I know is not new, but is new now. I enjoy your speech, and I'm pretty sure that with your experience, this year is going to be a good year for Area 64. And I look forward to hearing about you in the future.
Thank you very much, Begonia. Would you do me a very big favor? Make sure that I get my manual back. That's why sometimes I like to keep my evaluators on Staten Island, because sometimes my manuals end up in New Jersey. Like Rachel over there. Rachel, who mailed me my manual from the last time she was on. Oh, yes. Here, Fran, here's your manual. I found it in my papers. That's why I work out of 8 manuals at a time, so I can always shift gears.
Right.
Hello.
Hello.
We have such nice new friends today, right?
Oh, of course.
Yes. You know, I can't see you back there at all. White suit and all, I cannot see you there.
That's because you're not looking hard enough.
You know what Rachel gave me for Christmas one year? A pair of white gloves to give Kevin, because I cannot see him when he's being my floor manager. And the first thing he noticed was these 3 fingers were black tipped, and he said, "Did I need them?" It's a very nasty gentleman over there. Very nasty. I carried them for months, and then he took time off, so I left them home this time. All right, Kevin, you are evaluating, my boss, Bill Atkins. Have you ever met Bill before?
Never once ever.
Good. Let's hear your nice evaluation that you're giving to my boss, so he's nice to me. Kevin Thompson.
Fellow Toastmasters, our studio audience, our audience at home, Fran, but especially Bill. And what I just said was not true. I've known Bill Atkins for years, but I love messing with Fran. Bill
Beats my heart.
was very, very confident standing here, and I think that this was his first time, and I'd like to applaud him for doing that. Speaking in front of the camera can be very cold. If you're like me, I feed off of the audience, and the camera doesn't give you any audience feedback. So you're delivering, and not getting anything back. 3 things I wanted to recommend to Bill. So if you notice, I've been speaking very, very fast. That is exactly what Bill was doing. See what I just did? I paused. So that's 1. Speak slower, Bill. That's 2. And vocal variety. What happens is that when you're delivering something and you want to emphasize something, you either go down in your voice or go up in your voice. Pause. Give people an opportunity to consume exactly what you were trying to say, and then go forward. He had very great hand gestures, great eye contact, and I know this is just the first of a number of speeches to come, and Bill always sets his sights on knocking it out the park. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kevin. And now I'll have Sue Brooks, who we let out of the control room once in a while, and she's going to evaluate Allison Lips. Hello, it's nice to see you out here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had the honor and privilege of evaluating Allison Lipp's speech for Warm Up Your Audience. Allison, you did a great job with this speech. You were supposed to open with a funny story, and you did. You told us about your first opportunity at Toastmasters when you went to Central State Medical Center, not to go to the ER, but at a Toastmasters meeting, and when you were nervous, when you looked around and you saw that everybody was your parents' age. We were all chuckling inside the control room. But then you quickly fell into place and found your niche, and that really helped. And when you said that they looked to you as an expert in social media and gave you the job as VP PR, that made me confident that you knew what you were doing. You were a natural on camera, and I liked the way that you started with the funny stuff, and then you went into the serious part of your story. You let us know about your responsibilities as the District Public Relations Manager, telling us about your 3 initiatives this year, bringing us all into contemporary times with the blog, with the podcasts that are coming up, and the YouTube channels. I think these initiatives are going to be a great asset to the district, and you highlighted them very positively. The only thing I could have recommended is that you not fiddle with the microphone, but otherwise it was a well-delivered speech, and I can't wait to hear more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sue. Very, very good. She wraps it all up in a beautiful nutshell, doesn't she?
She does.
Always does, always. All right, and now Lucy Kahn. Oh, hello, you're there already. Hi. Lucy's going to evaluate, let's see, our club growth director, Linda Starr. And let's see, she was doing number 3. Okay, and Lucy is a DTM 2. I think she's working on 3, 4, and 5 at the same time. Welcome, Lucy.
Thank you. Good morning, fellow Toastmaster, distinguished guests and viewing audience, and especially Linda. Linda, I like your speech about what I can do to grow as a growth director, and I wanted to see that the objective of this speech is to make them laugh. So that means you want the audience to laugh with you, and you started with a strong start with a song, and you told the audience that we can grow with our friends and everyone, and the only thing you have also the joke that you can only grow, but you cannot grow with your height, so that makes the audience laugh. And I like your other story about Jack and the Beanstalk, and also the plan that you want, everybody has to plant a seed in order to grow with our club. I like the one about Toastmaster, your incentives and everything. The only thing that I really want to hear is more jokes and more stories to make the audience laugh. And I think your conclusion is good. It was like everybody has to grow with everyone. And your conclusion like to say that it is great to be a Toastmaster. So I like to hear more of your stories in the future. Thank you.
See. Very nice, Lucy. Now, we'll have Paul Scharf, past the first District 83 governor,
Yes.
and one of our longtime people on the show, and he's an area director this year again.
Yes.
So I have to see if he's doing the job right. Right, Paul?
I'll do it right. You just gave me the instructions on how to do it.
Copycat. That's all right. I'll tell you, he's full of a lot of stuff that I take from him, too. That's the one thing in Toastmasters. We sort of share. It's the sharing that you're not offended if somebody says, you know, I think you could have done this, and that's what the evaluations are like.
Exactly.
You know? So, anyhow, and thank you for my pen. I like it very much. Very pretty. Now I know why Manny is wearing a purple shirt today. I don't have a purple pen, by the way. This is lovely.
Good.
Okay, Paul, you're evaluating he's in what, Brunswick or Brunswick Advanced with you?
He's all over.
Oh, I'm glad.
It was in Brunswick. He's in Brunswick Advanced right now,
Good.
among others.
Okay, well, I hope we see him again, him and his lovely wife. I like her evaluations, by the way. A lot nicer than yours, Paul, when you evaluate me. But when you tell her the bad things about me, I'm sure she'll change. No, maybe she'll stay nice. All right, Paul, one step forward. Let's hear what you thought about Manny's speech.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, audience, and Manny. Manny, persuade with power. I've heard you speak many times, and you always persuade with power, whether it's something powerful or whether it's something sad. You present with a lot of power. You started out in the beginning with taking the first step. You mentioned that, and it's okay, what's the first step? And then you went on from there to further steps and go to a conference, so on and so forth. But the important thing about your presentation was your body movement. And your body movement was fantastic. Your hands were moving, your physical body was moving, your face was moving back and forth. You were persuading with power. There's one thing I have to say, and it's very strange that I have to say this because I've heard you talk many times, and your vocal variety is always up there when it's important, down here when it's not that important, or when it's quieter. When you gave your presentation, that vocal variety only went from here to here. I've seen it go from there to there. Maybe because you're in front of the lectern, you had to slow up on the vocal variety, but that's the only thing that you might want to increase when you're in front of a lectern. Other than that, an absolutely fantastic presentation, and you did persuade many of us with power. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you. All right, and now we're going to ask Cindy Wilson, past District 46. No, you're this district.
83.
I'm sorry. I have to see who came after 2008. All right, so you're going to evaluate Janice's speech, New Beginnings. Cindy?
Thank you. Madam
welcome.
Toastmaster, friends, and those here. Janice, I liked how you started your speech with the words, new beginnings. There's so many times when people say things but don't support them. And I must say, Janice supported everything. She said, why are we calling it New Beginnings? There are going to be new programs and new methods and procedures that we're going to use in District 83. And then she said, which I thought was making it very honest, very real, that she had some hesitations. However, the challenge was not going to stop her. She was going to go forward with it, and she asked us all to follow her. Believe me, I'll be following her. It was well organized, well done, and it went from general information to specific actions of what she was going to do. We're talking about using blogs, using YouTube, using podcasts. So this is a change that's coming to District 83, and Janice explained it very, very well. Your speech was well prepared. You had everything in it that someone needed to know. If they needed to go for more information, you said the names of people who were going to be helping you. You explained the way of contacts and communications and how we were going to change it. value fully to me, 100%, because there wasn't anything that was extra or superfluous in her evaluation. Janice, thank you so much. It's going to be a banner year in District 83, and I know that we're going to follow behind you and get on that bus. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Cindy. Now, this tape will be playing on Staten Island for the next 2 Saturdays, but the second meeting after lunch, Cindy's going to be doing Read Out Loud. That will be playing at the end of the month. So if you can stay, stay. She does a fantastic storybook reading. All right, Diane, I have a question. It's only you know where it's going when I start talking. Diane, when I was district governor over in 46, you were my driver everywhere we had to go with our committee of 6 to take all the food and all that. You did a very, very good job taking your children around safely. What a good driver. Now, I went over to one of your contests, whether I was the DG or not at that time. Oh, you know where I'm going. All right, when you were division governor in our former District 46, I remember your Halloween-themed contest. Please tell the audience all about it. Diane King.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, audience in the home, and also here in the studio. I love to have parties with themes, and I love to have fun decorating it. And when I was division governor, I had the contest in Red Bank, and so everything was Halloween. You walked in the door, and there was a glowing space alien who was motion activated. People would be startled by that. I had sandwiches made myself that I made in the shape of little coffins. I had witches and Phantom the Opera and all kinds of motion activated table ornaments, and it was just a lot of fun. And even for the tabletop question, I made it a far out question that our friend Dolores, remember Dolores, she said she never won a table topics, but I asked her what you would do if the spaceship came down and took you off or some such thing. Everything was coordinated around that one theme. So I have to throw modesty aside and say people still come to me 10 years later and say they remember that party, because I really went all out and had a lot of fun with it.
Near the door, and I watched all the people jump when that thing. No, she's a very creative woman. Very see, that brings out. You feel safe in Toastmasters to do silly things like that. And we're remembering how many years ago were you a division governor? You know, so. But anyway, we have stories to tell. Stories to tell. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Linda Isaacs, I met you last month for the first time. Very happy that you're back, and you'll be speaking at the second meeting in a little while. So, Linda, you're a distinguished Toastmaster. I have a nice speech about you. See, I get into people who I know, and I don't know you that well, so this is a good question. Summer is almost over. Can you tell us some of the special memories you have about your summer vacations when you were a child? Linda Isaacs.
Summer vacations when I was a child always involved visiting relatives because my father was in the military, so we never lived anywhere near any of my family members. We always had to go visit them. So I remember going to visit my uncles, my cousins in West Virginia. One of my uncles had a second home up in the hills where you needed a four-wheel drive to get to the house, and even when you got there, you might or might not be able to make it all the way in because weather might have meant a log was over the road or something like that. I also remember one occasion when I spent several days with one of my aunts. Her dog was there, and we had our dog and cat because we were in the middle of moving from one place to another. So we had dog fights and cat chases and all sorts of things during that week that I spent at my aunt's place. So vacations when I was a kid were always visiting family. Even to this day, my vacations tend to be visiting my mother in Kentucky. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very nice. Thank you. Well, that's the end of our show. Janice, what did you think about your team?
They made me very proud.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I can't wait to get everything moving forward.
I hope you have some nice surprise for them all next year, at the end of your year.
I hope so.
I'll tell you, because what they said they want to do, and if they get the cooperation and it gets done, you're going to have a banner year.
I hope so. That's the objective. And Linda mentioned that we're shooting for the stars with Presidents Distinguished,
That
and
would be,
it'll be great.
it certainly will. Okay, and how much time do we have?
2:17.
2:17. All right, would you like to answer either one of those? Well, not Diane's question. Would you like to answer Linda's question?
Sure.
Sure, why don't you? And just keep your eye on the clock, because Rachel and Kevin get very angry if I go over. They start giving me zigs.
My family vacations were mostly to the Lake of the Ozarks, which is in the center of the state of Missouri. We had a cabin that sat about a half a mile to a mile from the lake. And the thing that made the Lake of the Ozarks very special was that it was a man-made lake in the 40s and the 50s. And Dad bought a 24-foot Owens cabin cruiser. It was an old wooden boat with a 65-horse motor. And it was really great because all of the kids, I'm a family of 4, we hooked up with a family of 3 girls, and then all of our other friends that we met at the lake. We would pile everybody in the boat, and I had a certain limit as to how far down the lake I could go. And I would pull them on water skis, or what we call a surfboard. It was just a big flat board. And we would just go and have fun and spend our days and short evenings on the lake and having just really great times.
It's too bad the children of today can't have that kind of summer fun. Everything is so dangerous. I mean, we did everything. I water skied, I picked apples out of a tree, and the lady said, if you give me some for the house, then you can take the rest home.
Right.
It was just a fantastic life
23.
and 60 years ago. Yes, I see it, Kevin, thank you. We'll say goodbye now. Please watch our show on Channel 34 every Saturday night at 7 p.m. And if you turn on between commercials, you'll find us 6-8 more times during the month. I go every time there's a commercial. The commercials take more time than the shows nowadays, so I can see half the show while I'm flirting around. But anyway, so we'll see you back here after the lunch hour, and we'll get on with our second meeting of the day. And
thank you.
You'll get a copy of this to add to your others. Thank you so much for coming.